Hello, wrestling fans. It is the week after WrestleMania weekend, and quite a spectacle to behold the past 4 days from just TakeOver, Mania, Raw, SmackDown, and it was quite an ordeal, quite a thing that happened over the weekend and the first 2 days of this week, and we're going to be talking about it all. That's right. We're going to talk about every single thing that happened for those 4 days. Um, yeah, so we will get started in that. Just anything else before we jump in?
Nope.
Anything to
A lot,
preface?
a lot of things to talk about. I don't know if I remember most of the matches, but we'll see what
Yeah.
we can do.
Yeah, we'll see what we can remember about everything.
So I'll go ahead and start, if that's all right.
Yeah, we're going to start talking about NXT TakeOver New Orleans, which was from the Smoothie King Center, the worst named arena probably in the history of sports arenas. The Smoothie King Center. So
That's what happens when
stupid.
corporate companies decide to put their money towards uh, basically ownership of name rights. So that's all right. All right. The first match we have for NXT Takeover NOLA, some might say, uh, is the North American Championship ladder match. Adam Cole versus EC3 versus Killian Dane versus Lars Sullivan versus Ricochet versus Velveteen Dream. Caleb, your thoughts about the match?
This was one heck of a match to start the show with, man. Like, I was hooked immediately 5 minutes in, and I was just like, holy crap, this is awesome. And it was as great as the main event was, and it was completely great. This, for me, was match of the night. This was the most fun. It was never boring. There was always awesome stuff happening, and like, I'm not saying that it's necessarily better, maybe, but just for me, I thought it was just more entertaining and had a lot more um, since it's, 6 guys, 7 guys, whatever. And it's a ladder match. Ladder matches are usually always fun. Yeah, it was awesome. Lots of great spots at the ladders. Velveteen Dream and Ricochet's thing, back and forth going on, and like when I can't remember if it was Killian Dane or Lars Sullivan, but they're like going up the ladder, and then Ricochet just out of nowhere jumps off the ropes onto his back, and then they fall off the ladder and stuff. And like, yeah, EC3 was awesome in this. They showcased him quite a bit. Like, everybody got showcased in this, which was awesome. Um, this was one of the best matches I've seen in a really long time. Probably the best ladder match we've seen since that Mania match 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
That was awesome. So yeah, this was an awesome match. I loved every minute of it. It's one I would definitely go back and rewatch. It has a lot of rewatch value. And Adam Cole going over, winning that very, very old school NWA-esque kind of looking belt, as you said, it was very, very old school and stuff. And it's just like, it's an awesome looking belt. They did a good job of that. And so yeah, Adam Cole going over was especially awesome because he's one of the best in the world. And so yeah, that's my thoughts. It was awesome. Perfect score for me. It just checked all my boxes. I loved it.
Yeah, best match of the night. Even though, whereas the main event was telling a story and was a very enjoyable match to watch, and every aspect was really well done. This was my favorite match as well. Each one of these guys had a chance to shine. Because I was just sitting here thinking, well, EC3 didn't have a whole lot of moments, but then you're talking about it like, no, he did have quite a few moments. Killian Dane had quite a few moments. Each one of these guys had their moment to showcase what they could do. Um, this is a pure scrap of a match. Like, these guys went in and they battled. You could tell that obviously this is all planned and stuff, but you can tell that they all gave it. They each one of them gave it their all. I'm ready to see Ricochet versus Velveteen Dream. I'm ready to finish off Killian Dane versus Lars Sullivan. I'd love for both of those guys to be called up eventually, really soon. Actually, I think Lars needs a little bit of more time in NXT, but he's been enjoyable to watch. His freak accident, even though it's kind of a lame move, when he does it, it's super hard. um, and I'm looking forward to seeing what EC3 does in NXT. I don't feel like he was showcased as much, but there were a couple spots. One of the spots, the neckbreaker off of the the ladder to, I think it was Velveteen Dream, one of the guys. That was sick. Yeah, just each one of these guys gave it their all, left it all in the ring, as you would say. Great match. This is going on my top 10 list.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty close up there. I can't remember where I put it, but yeah, it was a fantastic match.
Yeah, and just real quick before we move on to the next one, also, like, I think Adam Cole was probably the MVP of this match. He had some of the, I don't know, like, okay, they all were, but he had some of the better moments. I mean, obviously he won, so that's a great moment, but one of the funniest parts in it where, like, Killian Dane pulled him off the ladder, and he's just like, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are, punk? And, like, he's like, I'm Adam Cole, bet. And then he just clobbers him. That was funny. And then where, I think it was Sullivan was up on top of the ladder, and everybody's, like, trying to power bomb him off of it. And then Adam Cole's, like, on top of the ladder, and he's like, yeah, we did it. And then he stops, looks up at the championship, and then just starts climbing up the rest of the ladder to get it. Like, and then they push it over. Like, that was a great moment. That was one of the best parts of the match. Like, it was very, very fun, very well done. So yeah, it was awesome.
Adam Cole, you said it before. Adam Cole's facial features, his expressions on his face through the whole match, through that match and through the other match, the tag team match, are just spot on, great. He is meant to be in this business. He's meant to be an entertainer. He's meant to be here, and so I can't wait to see what happens as his career progresses in the WWE. To see where they push him and how they push him and whatnot. So all of these guys, I'm looking forward to seeing more matches from. So they did a great job.
Indeed. 100%. Go watch that match if you have not. It will not disappoint you unless you hate everything awesome. So now we move on to the NXT Women's Championship match: Shayna Baszler versus Ember Moon. Jeremy, your thoughts?
It felt shorter than it was, and I'm okay with that. I think they protected Ember with the technical submission, the whole she can't move, so she's done type thing. They protect her because she didn't want to lose her belt, and that was evident in their last matches. She's not going to give up. Her arm's nearly broken or whatever, and so that was well done in the last match. In this match, I'm glad they did the way they did, is to basically put her to sleep or knock her out, however it is, to protect her. They even protected her move, with having one done outside the ring, and then having Shayna even block it in the middle prior to the submission. I thought that was well done. I'm interested in seeing what Shayna does. I think I'm liking her more and more in the ring. She was better, I think, this match than she was in the last match. But I'm looking forward to seeing who they pair her up with to continue a feud. I'm assuming Kyrie, but I don't know. It was an okay match. I liked the ending. I like how they protected Ember. But again, we'll see what happens with Shayna as champ. Caleb, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree pretty much with everything you just said. They did protect the Eclipse. They did, protect Ember Moon, keep her looking strong. Being called up because, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I enjoyed it. It did feel very short, but that wasn't necessarily a bad thing because these are two very fast workers, so they can fit a lot of action into just 13 minutes. And I liked the psychology they were doing. I liked how they did the whole arm breaking spot.
Yep.
And then Ember got out of it, and then she does the same thing to Shayna Baszler, and then they kind of sell her arm injury throughout the whole match and stuff like that. And like they show like Shayna Baszler like reaching around, and like grabbing her own hair for like the leverage to do the chokehold and stuff like that. And I thought that was kind of cool.
And the announcers sold that well.
Yes.
Because I wouldn't have known if they wouldn't have said it. I wouldn't have seen it if they didn't say it. But yeah, that was well done. Agreed.
And so yeah, it was really good. Had a lot of good psychology and in-ring storytelling and stuff like that. And it did feel very short, but that for this, that's not always a bad thing. And this one, that wasn't a bad thing. So, but yeah, I enjoyed it. Both ladies did a fantastic job, and so yeah, I'm glad that we have Ember Moon on the main roster now. So there's more potential, potential rivalries to take place and stuff. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. And I think Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane, probably would be the next thing too. Because now that the Icano duo are also moved up, I can't name anybody else besides Kairi Sane in the NXT Women's
Yeah,
division.
they need to start building up their roster. They need to start building up the women in that roster. They're not really doing that, which is sad to see. They're having some matches. They are building Kairi Sane. She did have a match this week on NXT, which she won. So they are building her up. But like you said, there needs to be more. They need to build up more of the ladies, and they kind of try to do that at WrestleMania. Like these are the ladies of NXT outside of Peyton Royce now. These are the ladies in NXT who, are going to be a part of the championship spot, possibly the championship spotlight. So, I agree with you.
Okay.
All right. Next match we have is the Tag Team Championship match / Dusty Road Tag Team Classic winner thing, champion, the trophy. We had the Undisputed Era with Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly versus the Authors of Pain versus Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong. Caleb, what were your thoughts about this match?
I thought it was a lot of fun. It was, just a little over 11 and a half minutes. Didn't feel that short.
Yep.
But it was fast paced. It had a lot going on. Had a lot of cool stuff. Pete Dunne is awesome. Roderick Strong's awesome. Like the Authors of Pain have really come a long way. They're awesome. The Undisputed Era is these three teams were awesome. It was a really fun match. The way it was booked, the finish especially, I really dug. That was really cool. The way they did that. It was just a lot of fun. A really cool match. Really enjoyed it. Like I said, the finish especially, the way that was done, I thought was like, wait, what? Just totally didn't see it coming, and it was done really well, and really enjoyed it. So I can't wait to see what happens between Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne. They're gonna have like a big match or something like that from this. But yeah, it was awesome. I quite enjoyed it. What about you?
Yeah, it was fine. Trying to think of. I can't remember a whole lot of spots because it was, like you said, it was fast paced. It had a lot of different spots. I love the fact that they put Adam Cole through a table and then just left him there for a majority of the match, which is, again, it was only 11 and a half minutes.
Yeah.
So he was only there for 10 of them, maybe 9 minutes. But I liked it. Kyle O'Reilly, that dude can take some bumps.
Yeah.
I think he was on Jericho's podcast where he says he's diabetic, like the worst kind of diabetic.
Oh.
And so I wish he would say more about that. I think that would be a cool story to tell because he's in a sport where he has to make sure that his body is in the right kind of set. It's got to be right every match. And so I wish he would come out and say, this is how I mean, he did on Jericho's podcast, but I wish he would say more about that. It was a good match. The right people went over. I think part of the reason why they brought Roderick Strong over was because I think Fish is going to be out for quite a while, and they need someone to be with O'Reilly for a bit. But also, I think it's a great idea to add a fourth, and I think they need to add. I think it would be cool if they added at least one more, maybe a bigger guy, because each one of these guys are the smaller guys. If they add a big guy, I think it would be a cool thing. And I think there could be a couple guys, not necessarily Lars, but somebody big who's coming up soon probably would be good. Good match. Right people went over. I'm excited to see what they do with that.
All right, cool. So now we have the NXT Championship match: Aleister Black versus Andrade Cien Almas. Jeremy, what did you think of this match?
In the beginning, there were some issues. I think there were some miscues. Aleister's backflip kind of ended weird with him on his all fours, and there were a couple of things, but it was a fantastic match, nonetheless. I really want to see them go again. I want to see what they could do for a second match, but I also want Andrade to come up. I was really sad that he didn't come up to either roster. I think he would be great on SmackDown. What I really want to see is during the Superstar or the Shake-Up next week is Zelina talking to both to both people and be like, here's my client, kind of a Paul Heyman-esque, this is my client, this is the reason why you need my client type thing. I would like to see that.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I think Raw's too stacked, and I think he could do better on SmackDown. But I have a feeling they're gonna put him on 205 Live. I don't want him to do that either. But even though 205 Live is getting better by the minute, the wrestling has been really outstanding. As far as the match, it's a good match, very very good match. I want to see this again. I want to see what they could do to make Aleister Black win again, and then bring CN over or whatever. So that's what I thought. I thought it was some really interesting spots, good spots, great ending. I love Zelina jumping off and then Andrade catching her, and then the Black Mass. Like, that was cool. Caleb, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I really, really liked it too. I thought it was really awesome, really enjoyable. Like I said, I love like a mixing of styles. So here you have luchador style mixed with this very martial arts orientated wrestling style. And you know, the styles mix in a very, very cool way. And you know, these are both, you know, guys who can work really fast paced and who, you know, can sell really well. And so, and I like fast paced kung fu style kind of, you know, martial arts style kind of matches that are really fast paced and stuff like that, but not matches that are just like fast paced just so they can fit a bunch of action in there and, you know, try to put on a classic. Matches that just happen, you know, like it seems like a natural progression like of a fight. And so that's, you know, how it kind of becomes a classic. It's not just like, hey, let's go out there and have the greatest match ever. You know, they're just like, hey, let's go out there and do an awesome match, you know, and tell a great story and put on a good match, and you know, and it just happens to be an awesome, you know, classic or something like that. But I could have vocalized that better, but
their styles definitely didn't clash.
But
they worked
like,
well together.
Yeah, like their styles, you know, just like, it's one of those things where it's just like, you know, oh, these two things are so completely different, and then put them together, and then it's just like, wow, like that's an awesome mix, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like, I liked the whole Zelina Vega getting involved. Like, I like all the things they did with that. How the way she can just very quickly do the Hurricane Rana and then, you know, slip outside the ring or like walk, you know, run to the other side of the ring and act like nothing happened and stuff like that. Like, she's really good at that. That was well done. And yeah, the ending especially, like this match seemed simultaneously to go really quick and seemed like it would never end.
Yep.
And that was cool. And I loved all the false finishes and stuff like that. And
that was only 18 minutes too.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I was just like, gosh, I don't know how long, like, what was that, like 22 minutes, 25 minutes or something? But yeah, it's 18. And I think that's a good length sometimes, is, you know, over 15 but under 20. And
yeah, especially if there's not a story to tell. Like, these guys, there was a story, but not a deep enough story, unlike the last match.
Yeah.
There was a story, but not a deep enough story to be like, oh, let's go 50 minutes.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, and that's something that Jim Cornette kind of brought up that I tend to agree with, is people like, you know, oh yeah, we have to go 35 to 50 minutes, otherwise people won't think it's a classic. Like, that kind of attitude can kind of get annoying. Like, I like long matches if they're good. If a match is really long and boring, or if it's really long and isn't telling a good story and it's just two guys doing high spots, like, it's like, yeah, it's kind of cool, but, you know, it needs to have more. So, but yeah, it was very well done. I really enjoyed it. I would like to see a rematch too. I think that would be really cool. And yeah, I think both of these guys are totally ready. So I hope they don't keep Alice there in NXT for too much longer.
Yeah.
Like, I would like to see him come up like around SummerSlam. Like, so like maybe like post SummerSlam, he, you know, comes up either to Raw or SmackDown. I think he'd be great on either one.
Even though it's been less than a year in NXT, because he came up near the UK Classic, UK tournament. Sorry, I agree with you. I think he would be a great talent to have there.
He would. I mean, and just think of like all the great matches that, like, you know, put him on Raw. You can have him with Finn Balor, Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. SmackDown, you know.
Him and Roman, I want to see right now.
Yeah, that would be totally rad. I mean, you put him on SmackDown, you got, you know, Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, you know, Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin, like.
For now.
Yeah, for now.
Because of this
shakeup,
that's might
true.
Change everything.
It might. I hate that they always do the whole, you know, this might be the last time we see the Usos because they could get split up in that. They're not going to do that.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. You're probably right. They're probably not going to split them up. But it would be interesting to see what they do split up, you know?
Yeah, that would be, yeah.
It'd be a new chapter for the Usos. Anyway, that's another story for another time.
Yeah. So yeah, it was really well done. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, like just there wasn't a single bad match in this whole card. Like this is probably gonna be the best show of the year.
Definitely best takeover in my opinion.
Yeah, like, and it might take the cake for best pay-per-view, best wrestling show of the year.
Quite possible.
For our things, for our end of the year awards. Like, yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed it. It was very well done.
Very good. All right, the last match, the main event, the only match that could have been the main event of this quote unquote pay-per-view. Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa for Gargano's job, essentially. It is a unsanctioned match, whatever that means. Caleb, what were your thoughts about the match?
From an in-ring standpoint, it was fantastic. It was just incredibly well paced. It was incredibly well put together. It was incredibly well executed. From a storytelling perspective, this was like just like a gripping drama that just reaches in and grabs you and pulls you in completely. And yeah, just constantly, the announcers, the commentators, um, talking about all the backstory and stuff like that really helps put it over and really help bring everything together. And the just like seeing how like these guys are best friends, and just seeing how well that they can sell their hatred for each other. And like I think that was probably some of the best, was just how they were selling the story through the ring. Like, this was a classic match. This is an all-time great match. It was amazing to watch. And this is one of those matches where it's just like, this is a great match, not just because the in-ring work was stellar, but because there's a gripping backstory. There's a storyline that just reaches out and pulls you into it. And it was incredibly well done. There were so many great spots, like Ciampa with his knee, like doing that, and then Gargano kind of like this guy's a punk, I need to take him out, but he's just like, this guy was still my best friend for so many years, and all that stuff was really well done. And yeah, it just completely pulled you into it, and just all the near falls and all the hard hitting moments that happened and stuff like that. Yeah, it was awesome. It was one of the best matches. And so it was good to see, like, it wasn't just a good match for the sake of being a good match. It was a good match because the storyline elevated it even further. And yeah, it was fantastic. What about you?
I cried at the end. I teared up because if you watch this match outside of the story, it's a fantastic match. If you watch this match inside of the story that they have told with these two people, it might be the best story WWE has ever told. And I know they've done this kind of thing before, where they tag people. I mean, it's the Hogan Savage. They, for a year, they were good, and then something happened, and with Liz, and Randy snapped. Like that's classic. This, putting them together, like just happenstance, not necessarily happenstance, but putting them together for the Dusty Road Classic, and then they become a tag team who were searching for a name. And if you saw their stuff behind, the stuff that they didn't show on NXT TTV, their YouTube stuff, they were looking for a name. Hey guys, can you help us give a name? They find the name DIY, and even their stuff with Bobby Roode, with the Glorious stuff. You fall in love with this team because they're funny, they're enjoyable to watch. You fall in love with this team, and they finally, you go through it, and they try to win tag team championship, and then they finally do it, and you're just like, this is the greatest tag team ever. Like, this is how I felt. This is the greatest tag team ever. And then when they lose the belts, Ciampa just going psycho killer, full just hatred, and the beating that he gave Gargano to push Ciampa as monster heel, to push Gargano as the super babyface. this whole story, it made this match for me. The story, everything that they did in this match to the end, when it harkened back to the cruiserweight championship tournament, the cruiserweight classic, where they have a match and you think Ciampa's going to turn on his friend and he doesn't. He hugs him. That ending is just a beautiful ending, where two guys, one extremely broken, Ciampa is broken, his eye is swelling up, he just has no more to give, or at least he seems like it, and then his best friend Gargano getting ready to hit him and he doesn't, sits down, but also mindful that Ciampa is going to hurt him if he doesn't watch out, and then eventually coming back with the STF-ish, coolest STF I've ever seen, where he pulls him back with the brace. This is the best story WWE has ever told, in my opinion. That's what made this match. It wasn't the action in the ring. It was the fact that you fell in love with this tag team who were best friends and they broke up. Yeah, it's my favorite match. Favorite story of WWE all time. So, yeah, great match. Everything about it was good. The powerbomb, I had to watch that several times to make sure he didn't hit his head off the
Yeah.
concrete. And watching it back, you realize that he does brace himself. He lowers himself on the mat. Each guy protected each other. I couldn't find the point where it looked like he hurt himself, his eye. I don't know if it was when he ran his face into the turnbuckle part or what, but beautiful story, beautiful match. Let's see where they go from here.
Yeah, I agree. It may have, in terms of storyline, it may have some equals, but yeah, I don't think it has any superiors. For sure, man. Yeah, it was a great way to close out the show, and yeah, I thought for sure Gargano would lose, but he ended up winning, and so that was kind of a nice way to find, to round this out and stuff like that. So.
For overall grade, Caleb, what would you give NXT TakeOver New Orleans?
It gets an A+. Just there was nothing wrong with it at all. I was constantly entertained the whole show. I feel like I couldn't give it anything but an A+. Just like it really pulled every single match. I was really getting into it. I was really involved. I was really invested, and it's hard that a show can do that. It's, a TV show even, or sometimes it's hard to care about some episodes. And this was a season, if you will,
Yeah.
of a TV show. This event was, and where every single episode pulled you in, got you involved, and you like were completely entertained. So I just feel like I have to give it an A+ because there was nothing absolutely wrong with it, and I was constantly entertained.
I agree. That's all I'm gonna say. I agree. Agreed.
All right, cool. Well, yeah, that was NXT TakeOver New Orleans. It's worth watching in its entirety. So go check it out if you haven't. But now we go to the show of shows, the overlong, but they had a lot of stuff. WrestleMania 34 coming to you live and loud from the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. Yeah, first off, the set and everything was great. It was a really cool WrestleMania. Like, yeah, it just the atmosphere, the lighting, the color scheme, and the set was really cool. Very, New Orleans-y, very Mardi Gras-ish. Like you and I were really, really down with that.
And if they ever do a WrestleMania in Hawaii, that set could be used as a pineapple. Every time.
True.
Every time I looked, I was like, "That's a pineapple."
Oh yeah. They need to do it. They need to do a Mania in Hawaii now.
That'd be rad. I don't think they get a whole lot of people there, but that would
Yeah.
be something in Hawaii they need to do.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Do you want to go over the pre-show?
Oh yeah, I mean we watched it, so we might as well quickly go over it.
All right.
So
Real quick, the men's battle royal. Matt Hardy wins, eliminating Baron Corbin. Caleb, what did you think?
I thought it was fun. It wasn't bad. Perhaps just a little too long, and I liked the surprise return of Bray Wyatt helping Matt Hardy win. So it's just like, ooh, what's up with this? Like it gets you really intrigued into that storyline. So,
Agreed.
yeah, and I love the broken/woken gimmick, and everything. Just the was it the Ultimate Deletion? Was it what it's called?
I think so.
Yeah. Um, that was fantastic, and everything that Matt has done after that with this whole storyline, I've loved, and it's been intriguing. And so yeah, this was a really cool segment. And then of course leading to what happens on Raw is even so. Yeah, but we'll get to that when we get to Raw. But so yeah, it wasn't bad. It was
Agreed. No, nothing else. I mean, I was glad that they kept Baron Corbin and Mojo Rawley at the end. I thought that was good. To just kind of like, oh, who could it be? And then realizing that it was probably going to be Matt Hardy was fine. Yeah, okay, good.
So now we have Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali in the tournament final for the vacant WWE Cruiserweight Championship. Jeremy, what'd you think?
Right person won. However, Mustafa Ali isn't bad at all. Great match, really well done. Not a crazy story, but these guys did a great job in the ring. Again, I can't remember a whole lot of the spots because it was relatively quick.
The Spanish Flies.
Oh yeah, the Spanish Flies. Yeah, Spanish Flies. Those were really well done. These guys, either one deserves the title. I look forward to seeing what they do on 205 Live with everybody. Looks like Cedric Alexander and Murphy are going to be in a feud now. So
isn't that Alexa's boo?
Yeah, I'm assuming they're still together, but I don't really know. Yeah, Buddy Murphy. He has grown on me. He's really good in 205 Live as a 205 Live competitor. So.
Okay.
Yeah, fine. What about you?
I really enjoyed it too. Had a lot of really cool high spots. I really like both of these guys too. I liked Mustafa Ali's like Iron Man entrance. That was pretty neat. I mean, it was very like Sub-Zero too. What you and I talked about. You were just like, is that Glacier or Sub-Zero or something? I was like, it's the same guy. Like
it was.
Yeah, and so, but yes, it was very well done. It was a lot of cool stuff, and yeah, it was just a really fun match. Nothing else to say, man. It was really well done. It was a lot of fun.
Right. Next we have is the Women's Battle Royal with all those people, with Naomi winning over Bayley. Kayla, what were your thoughts about everything?
I thought it was fun. I think it was cool that like each woman kind of got a little moment in it and stuff like that, and a lot of NXT gals, which was fun. Because I'm not too familiar with a bunch of them, and so yeah, that was cool, and I liked that Bayley turned on Sasha. Kind of keeping it ambiguous as to who will be the face and who will be the heel when this feud finally, goes into, drive, because right now it's kind of a neutral. And I liked, she throws her over and she's like, yeah, I won. Oh crap! And then Naomi, clobbers her and wins. And so, I'm interested to see where they go with Naomi from that. And obviously, this serves as a springboard to the Bayley Sasha feud, which I'm okay with. I thought it was really well done, and so I'm really intrigued to see that. But I'm also intrigued to see where this will take Naomi. If she'll go into a program with Charlotte, or if, who knows what will happen. But I enjoyed it for what it was. Like it was, for a quote unquote storyline ending. I didn't have a problem with it, and I thought it was fine.
Right. Naomi wins the uterus title.
Yeah, very feminine.
Shapes like a uterus. Shaped like a uterus, everybody. I showed my wife the picture of the trophy. Mm-hmm. I said, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you see this trophy?
Ovaries.
Uterus. That's exactly. I'm like, yep, see? Told you.
Yeah.
I'm fine with Naomi winning. I mean, I like the story they told with Bayley and Sasha. My only problem was they didn't show, and maybe it was by design because they didn't know how Naomi was gonna not go over the rope,
mm-hmm.
but they didn't show the whole Naomi not going over the top rope stuff. That's my only issue with the match, but otherwise I thought it was fine.
Okay. So now with that, we move to the first match on the main card, which probably should have gone on a little later, but still start off the show with a great bang, whatever.
Yep.
So we had The Miz versus Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor, a triple threat main event. wasn't a main event. It was the first one. Anyways, doesn't matter. I just triple threat main event just had a good ring to it. For the Intercontinental Championship, Jeremy, what did you think of this match?
Really good. Good opener. The right person won. Seth Rollins to put him as a Grand Slam champion. They'll also kind of fuel some interesting feuds there. So my only problem is I believe each one of these guys needs to be in the Universal title scene.
Mm.
I understand what they're doing with the Universal title right now, and I'm fine with that. But each one of these guys have the clout to be a Universal champion. I think the IC championship needs to be for those guys who are coming up.
Yeah, which is what it was in the day.
Yeah, in similar weight classes a little bit. I would be okay if like Lars came up and won the Intercontinental title. I'd be okay with that. But similar kind of style and whatnot. But each one of these guys needs to be in the Universal fight. But yeah, like I said, I'm fine with this match. I'm excited about the winner. He does look good with the belt. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
I loved his entrance with the Ice King or
the Night King, the White Walkers from Game of Thrones.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, so. And I like that his ring gear looked like it was like Game of Thrones armor, and he had like the contacts in that made his eyes like super blue. Like just everything about that entrance, his entrance especially. Everything about his entrance was super cool. Like, it was awesome.
And if Finn Balor doesn't come out as a demon, he's not going to win.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
At least on a pay-per-view. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was my thoughts. Your thoughts?
Yeah. I agree. I didn't know who I wanted to win because I really like all three guys. Mm-hmm. Which, you go back to 3 years ago when I started watching wrestling, I hated Seth Rollins because he was in hyper douchey heel mode. And I was just like, he reminds me so much of Triple H. And, he's doing what Triple H did. He made you hate him. But he's come a really long way as a babyface, even though I think he is better as a heel. He's grown on me so much. And, I think, I agree. He probably, did. So now all three members of the Shield are Grand Slam champions, which is cool. This match, for me, is probably match of the night. This is the one I remember the most for positive reasons. It's the one I remember the most for positive reasons. Just everything, the entrance, the grandiose, entrances, the scope of everything. And even though the ring is the same size, because it's in this giant football stadium instead of a basketball arena, it's... for some reason, it makes everything feel bigger and epic and all that stuff, and it just had a lot of action, a lot of near falls, just lots of cool stuff. Like I said about the ladder match, it just checked all my boxes for something I love in a match. 15 minutes, good length for this. Didn't feel rushed ever, and it was just really well done. It was a great match, great way to open the show. I really liked it. For me, it was probably match of the night. So. Yep.
Is it my turn?
All right.
Sorry.
Yes, it is. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
So many matches to go through. It's like.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Next match we have is the SmackDown Women's Championship. Charlotte Flair versus Asuka. Caleb, what were your thoughts?
Seeing now, it was only 13 minutes long. It felt a lot longer, and they fit a lot of stuff into it, and it didn't feel rushed though. It was very, very good. It's just completely didn't see Asuka losing, but like you and I were okay with it, because she's one of the only people, maybe if the only person who's on the main roster. Like I personally thought, I thought and that they should have and would have built Ember Moon up over the next year to end it next year at WrestleMania or something.
Agreed.
But I'm okay with this too. You don't want to make her too big for the hype.
Yep.
You don't want to paint yourself into a corner by having her, by having the streak go too much. And so I totally get that, and I was okay with it. But it was just that shock of like, what? That you're not disappointed in the result. You're just surprised. And, yeah, I was totally surprised. Like, I couldn't believe it. And on Twitter, everybody was cool with it. They're just like, hey, who else but Charlotte could beat the streak? And I was like, yeah, that's not bad. Like, yeah. And so, yeah, I didn't have a problem with it either. It was a very good match. They fit a lot of good stuff into it. And having Asuka, be a good sportswoman and, they hugged it out and stuff like that. I was okay with that. I know some people kind of hate that where rivals hug it out and stuff at the end of a match, but it's just like, they're showing respect for each other, probably, in terms of storytelling and in terms of reality. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. A very, very big, shocking result, and that's not always a bad thing. But as we'll come to find out, they just apparently decided to do that for all the big, for all the big things. Anyways, what about you?
Yeah, good match. Both of the ladies are some of the best in-ring performers in WWE. Perfect pairing. I'm glad they did what they did with putting Charlotte with Asuka. I'm glad Asuka called out Charlotte. I foresee Charlotte probably going back to Raw, based on what happened on SmackDown this week. It was a good match. As far as match goes, the Spanish Fly that Charlotte did, like at first it looked like she almost killed Asuka, but you look at it several times. It just was a weaker jump, but it wasn't in any way gonna hurt.
Well,
Asuka.
Actually, it wasn't a Spanish Fly. It was a fall away moonsault.
It was not. It was a Spanish Fly.
It was a Spanish Fly.
We're not going to do that. Like
I hate that.
Yeah, it's stupid because the girls can do a lot of the same matches, or a lot of the same moves that the boys can do, and that's exactly what happened. Charlotte and Asuka did a Spanish Fly.
Exactly. I know. It's just like, yeah. It's just like it's just like oh yeah, I'm driving my my Toyota Corolla. That's not a Toyota Corolla. It's an automobile.
Yeah,
it's just like,
exactly.
oh my gosh, like,
Yeah,
it's like that. It's just like, you don't have to call it by its, technical name. Slave name. You don't have to call it by its technical name. You call it by its move name. The move is called the Spanish Fly.
Yep.
Yes, it is a fall away moonsault, but it's called the Spanish Fly. Because I saw somebody on Twitter who's just like, ugh, like her version isn't called the Spanish Fly. It's just a fall away moonsault. And I'm just like, oh, shut up, wrestling nerd. Like,
yeah, it's wrong. It's a Spanish Fly.
Anyway, sorry
That's all right.
I was
didn't mean to push your button.
Yeah, didn't mean to interrupt you there. I just had to work that little joke in and bury that internet mark.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah, as far as matches goes, it was very good. Both these ladies have done a great job in the ring, and yeah, it was a good match.
Yes, it was.
All right, next match. Is it my turn?
Yes, yeah, it is.
Blah. I'm the evens. Okay, gotcha. The next match is for the United States Championship Fatal 4-Way. We had Randy Orton, who was the champion, Bobby Roode, Rusev, and Jinder Mahal. Caleb, what were your thoughts about this match?
It was okay. Had some good high spots. Had some fun parts. Totally didn't see Jinder winning. Like at all. Like I didn't know what to expect from this match. Even a little. Like I didn't know what to expect. Like I was just, I don't know what to expect. It wasn't bad. I guess I'm okay with Jinder going over because the good guys can't win them all. The bad guys have to win some. And so yeah, I'm interested to see where all four of these guys go from here. It was okay. Nothing that wrong with it, but it just wasn't like I feel like this and the IC title matches should have been swapped. Yep. I tried to say swapped and switched at the same time. Switched. So yeah, like I think they should have possibly been swapped. But yeah, but because of the match that followed, I think the momentum of the show got regained. So, anyways, that's what I think. What about you?
Yeah, I guess after the Charlotte beating Asuka, we should have just said every match after this is just gonna be whatever.
Yeah.
I'm after what happened on SmackDown, I'm okay with Jinder. I like Jinder's heel work.
Mm-hmm.
It is that old school I'm foreign, so I'm better than you.
Yeah.
He that whole setup that he had on SmackDown was hilarious.
And also, more power to him for playing up to it and having fun doing it.
So, what did I want him to win? No. Would I rather see Randy Orton versus Bobby Roode? Yes. But fine. Okay. We'll just move on.
Okay. So now we have probably the most talked about match of the show.
Maybe outside of the main event.
Yeah, well, I mean, like leading up to.
Oh, yeah.
Leading up to and one of after. We had Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey, the Olympic Dream Team, versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, the what did I call it? The Boardroom Warriors. I just thought of that last night. I thought that was funny. Jeremy, what were your thoughts on this match?
It was a great match. Way better than I thought it was going to be. I knew Kurt and Triple H would be okay in the ring. Kurt lost the whole punching thing. He looks like Shane now at times, punching better than Shane, but just a little bit like Shane. Ronda's punches were amazing. She did a great job pulling her punches, but actually looking like she's hitting. She did great. Her finisher, the armbar setup, I really like her standing over Stephanie and just kind of playing it up. Like, I like that aspect of it. And then going into it, I really, 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 really like that. I want to see more. This match did exactly what it set out to do. I want to see what happens with Ronda and Stephanie on a one-on-one match. Even though I know Stephanie's no good in the ring, it's setting up to feel like the Attitude Era with McMahon versus Stone Cold. I want to see Stephanie put Ronda in the craziest spots. Like, you have to face 2-3 women. I mean, Ronda's a small chick. Could she beat 2 or 3 women? Really? No. But I want to see that. I want to see what happens. I want to see Stephanie basically put her thumb on Ronda for the next year to do crazy things to make her do. Because essentially, Stephanie's right. She owns her a little bit. Quote unquote owns her. But I thought it was a great match. Everybody did great. I love the whole Ronda versus Triple H stuff that they did.
Yeah.
That was well done. Every bit of it. Every bit of it was great. Caleb, what'd you think?
Yeah, it was awesome. Probably the most fun match of the night. Nothing was really bad about it. It was a lot. It was just a lot of fun. Now the way Ronda was acting during it, that was totally awesome. Like, she kind of was doing the whole rowdy thing, where not so much she's this like, kind of original Roddy Piper, who's sort of the prototype Dean Ambrose guy. But like, just whole like, she was rowdy, like, yeah, let's fight, like, kind of, just very simple, like straightforward, just like, yeah, let's fight. She doesn't have to, talk in like a really goofy manner and, play to the crowd. Like, yeah, she just gets really intense when she puts her mean face on. Like, that was really good. And yeah, her that swinging Samoan drop that she does is really cool looking. Looks like it hurts because she falls really fast. And stuff. And yeah, the way she does the armbar was really cool. I like that. And all the Triple H stuff she did where she's just like, hey, let's go. I'm not afraid of you. Like, that was done really, really well. And he's like, haha, whatever. And then she just starts going to town with him on those rapid fire punches. And
he sold that pretty well.
He did. Like, the way he was just like, like, yeah, that was awesome. It was a lot of fun. There was nothing wrong with it at all. Ronda seemed like she was having the time of her life. And I'm really looking forward to what they do. Like, she did not look bad at all. I'm sure there's a lot of crossover between her judo and jiu-jitsu training and into the wrestling
her
thing.
selling was pretty spot on, too.
Yeah, it really was.
She did a really good job.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that, man. Yeah, it was awesome. It was a lot of fun. It was great, and yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else I was going to say. Oh, yeah, I love that she came out in, like, the mini skirt kilt. That was cool. And I totally called my shot on that too. Like, a minute before she came out, I was like, I hope she comes out. She'll probably come out in the jacket, but I hope she comes out with the kilt too. And sure enough, yeah, like it was. Yeah,
it's really cool. And I think my favorite thing from this whole, not just that match, but on Monday night, just to go into it a little bit, was her after she breaks Stephanie's arm. She's like, what? Like her smile, like, what? Like I hated it at first, but now I keep thinking about like, no, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that was totally.
All right. All right. Next match is the Bludgeon Brothers versus the Usos versus the New Day for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Caleb, what were your thoughts about this match?
It happened. That's about it. Like, you
say that because it's only less than 6 minutes.
Yeah, it was just a hair under 6 minutes. Yeah.
It was essentially a squash match.
Yeah, kinda. Like, didn't know what to expect. Wonder if they were just like, we need to make sure we get this done on time. So, we're gonna just shorten this one down and just do this and this and whatever. It was okay. It was pretty forgettable because I can't remember that much other than Bludgeon Brothers winning. But the way they've built them, I mean, I guess they should have won, and so I'm okay with that. No real problems with it. But yeah, it was just like, it just happened. Was there's nothing really good or bad about it. It just happened. So
yeah, and with a superstar shakeup that's coming. What happened on SmackDown? It looks like maybe the New Day will probably go back over to Raw.
Interesting.
So it'd be interesting, or half of New Day or some of New Day.
Oh.
Never know. I'd like to see Big E on his own for a bit.
That'd be because like I never got to see that that would be interesting.
We'll see what happens. We're looking forward to the superstar shakeup.
Indeed.
But yeah, I don't remember much about the match either.
I know.
I was just talking about SmackDown.
It was like a pee break match, totally.
Yeah,
like it basically was. So.
And I'm fine with them winning, like you said. I love Harper's new mask.
Yeah, it looks like a dragon skull or a jackal skull or something. Yeah, I don't know.
But it looks cool. So.
It does, it really does.
Yeah, I was fine with it.
Yeah, not too much to say either. Well, that was that match. So now, an impromptu match. But first, Jeremy, what did you think of periodically throughout the show earlier, seeing Cena in the crowd, and then everything that led up to this?
I'm glad they. I think we both kind of said it. I'm like, I really hope they don't do this through all the matches. I'm glad they kept it short. I'm glad they did it. I'm glad the whole face Cena made in the Cruiserweight Championship match. Like, whoa, like that was funny. I mean, it was. The funny thing is, it was delayed because he may not have known that the camera was on him at the time, and he was like, whoa, that was just really funny. I liked it. I liked the build. Like he came as a fan, and that's what he was. I thought it was funny. So yeah, the build was really well done. What did you think about the build?
Yeah, I liked it too. It was well done, and like that was funny too. In my mind, he was making that face like a ton of times until they just cut to him, and then they're like, "All right, we got it, John." And then the pregnant lady next to him, who we both think was probably a production assistant or something, like who had like an earpiece and was feeding him stuff. Probably just like, "All right, they got it." And then he quit making that, like because that's the funniest thing to me. So that's what I think happened. But yeah, I thought it was really good too. I thought it was really well done. And then they do the whole thing where the ref is just like, Taker's here. And he's just like, yeah, whatever. No, seriously, he's here. He's backstage. And he's like, and then he just jumps the barricade and runs backstage, which quickly became a meme and a hilarious one.
Yep. So many different ones. I've seen so many different ones now, and they're well warranted.
Yeah. One of my favorite was Triple H brought pizza. That was a funny one.
That's a good one.
And then there's a sale on jean shorts down the street. that was a good one too. So yeah, that quickly became a meme, and deservedly so, because it was fun. Yeah. And then we come to the moment with the build-up, everything with Elias, and then the eventual match. So just talk about the whole build-up with Elias, and then get into the match.
There was a lot of rumors whether Elias was going to play guitar with The Rock or whatnot. What was Elias going to do? Because he kind of said, I don't something big's going to happen. And so I'm fine with Elias coming out. I'm sad that they're using Elias as a jobber right now, because I think he's better than that. Because they basically jobbed him out on Monday night too, which happens.
Yeah.
But I guess they didn't have an official match on Monday night. But anyway, it's another story. So I liked it. I liked him coming out. I liked the song that he sang. I liked
Yeah.
all that happened. You know, John basically putting him in his place, and then John's like, oh whatever, and he starts going back, and then the Undertaker comes out, which was pretty cool. But then they have like a less than a 3 minute match, 2:45.
2:45. Yeah.
Um, which I'm fine with. I joke that at least John Cena's putting the younger guy over. It sounds like the Undertaker's back in some capacity. They've already booked a match at the Greatest Royal Rumble with Rusev in a casket match. So I'm interested in seeing that. I'm interested in seeing. My guess is he doesn't want to retire. My guess is he wants to do however matches he wants to do, and he needed that moment to have his hip surgery or something replaced or something.
Yeah, hip replacement. Yeah.
I don't necessarily think he looks great in the ring, but it'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
If they do it old school, punching and kicking and whatnot, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, because if you look at his 2 WrestleMania matches with Triple H from 2011 and 12, which I just rewatched the other day, they're great matches. They're brawling matches. They're ground and pound, and stuff like that. And they were amazing matches, both of them. Like, they didn't have to do, crazy stuff. Most of it was just kind of, brawling and stuff. So yeah, like they can have, he can have great matches, just kind of doing, heavy hitting stuff.
Yeah, I can't remember. Has Undertaker ever won a casket match?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's won most casket matches. It's the buried alive matches he always loses.
Buried alive matches.
The casket matches, I think he usually wins.
Never mind.
Yeah. It's the buried alive matches that he's never won. Yep. It's just like Kane's never won an Inferno match, and Jericho's never won a ladder match. He's never won the Money in the Bank ladder match, I should say. But yeah, he's won quite a few casket matches, but he's never won a buried alive.
That's good. So yeah, it happened. Not bad. I mean, the setup wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, the setup wasn't bad either. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, he basically was just kind of doing his greatest hits moveset.
Yep.
But like I said, I was okay with it, and a lot of other people were too. They were just like, "Hey, I'm glad it just happened."
Mm-hmm.
And Cena sold fear so well. Like, he did a good job of just like, "Oh crap, what did I get myself into?" Like that kid who talks a big game in school, and stuff like that. And then when you finally call him out, he's like, "Well, I was just playing. I was just playing." And then he gets his butt kicked.
And I wonder, like, in the whole setup of everything, if in the back of the character's mind, if he wasn't going to get just Mark Calloway and not the Phenom,
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just get the American Bad A or whatever, the Dead Man version, instead of the Undertaker. That when he got the Undertaker, he's like, okay, that's not the guy I wanted to wrestle. I wanted to wrestle Mark Calloway. Crap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it was built well, it was sold well, and he's just like, well, yeah, he got owned in under 3 minutes because he was shook. He was really, and yeah, I didn't mind it at all. I thought it was built well. I thought it was executed well. It really popped the crowd and stuff like that. So Undertaker's got another big win in the long win column.
And then John Cena put out on his Twitter him playing in black and white, playing the piano, "The House of the Rising Sun," which is hilarious because he just sits there afterwards. What's going to happen with John Cena next? How is John Cena going to come back from the Undertaker? Has it humbled him, or is he just going to have fire? So there's a lot around this match that I want to see what happens to John Cena. Like,
in my perfect world, this would be the catalyst, the springboard for a John Cena heel turn, and kind of going back to the word life, Doctor of Thugonomics kind of, or sort of like this, hey, I'm like The Rock now, I'm a big shot movie star, and stuff like.
I want to see Sad Sack John Cena.
I
want to see John Cena come in, not be able to say anything. Emo John Cena. Just, hey guys, I'm here.
Yeah, because like when he took out Elias, and then he kind of went into the corner and begrudgingly did the thing, like kind of just like whatever. Like, I liked that. Like, that was cool. Like the way he was just like, yeah, okay, yeah. Like, but yeah, it was cool to see that.
All right, enough rambling about that match and the possibilities. We go on, trudge on. We have 5 more matches.
Yes.
One extremely good, and the other's like, meh, okay. I say that because I'm setting something up.
Yeah.
Number 10, Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. And I do believe that if Sami and Kevin would have won, they would have been rehired to SmackDown Live. Caleb, what were your thoughts about the match?
I liked it. I thought the stretcher gimmick was stupid. The stretcher gimmick's just been done quite a bit.
But at least they didn't take him back.
Yes, like I'm glad that it's like, oh come on man, and then his music plays and then he comes back out and then makes this miraculous like. Shane spent a good portion of this match just getting owned, and then Daniel came. He just I don't think they even put him on the stretcher, did they?
No, they just kept him outside.
Yeah.
With the camera away.
So yeah, I'm glad they didn't do the whole 9 yards.
Yep.
But still, it's just like come on, but yeah, so then he came back and he just does his thing. It was great to see him back in there, and he owned him and stuff like that. And yeah, it was good. It was a great feel good moment. I know a lot of people were thinking that there would be a heel turn, but it doesn't seem like it.
No.
Doesn't seem like it's gonna happen.
It doesn't need to.
Yeah. Also, yes, it doesn't. It doesn't. I don't think it needs to either. I think people just were kind of getting annoyed with Shane because of the storyline. Now the storyline seems to have reached its apex. It's done, and so everybody should hit reset on Shane McMahon and not be like, oh, why does he always put himself in the big feuds, blah blah blah, I liked it. It was a fun match. It's great to see Daniel Bryan back. Don't know what else I can say.
Yeah, good. Daniel Bryan's back. He's a wrestler now. I want to see him do promos on wrestlers now, because he is so good at that. He's very good on the mic. Pretty much I think he's underused on the mic as much as he did for the general manager position. He's just really good. It's interesting. I want to see what happens with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, because right now they're fired.
Mm-hmm.
And you sent me that post, the Twitter post with their picture on the Impact thing. I thought that was pretty funny.
That was hilarious.
So yeah, it was a fine match. Shane McMahon did a coast to coast. That's every match I want to see him do that.
Mm-hmm.
He did it without a trash can.
Mm-hmm.
He actually jumped pretty good. I think Sammy helped him a little bit by leaning up, but I love that move when he does it.
Yeah.
Shane sold the stomach issue stuff.
Mm. Yeah, he did a good job with that.
Was this the match where Daniel Bryan did the drop kick from the top and just laid there for a minute?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, and now
because he was kind of holding his head a little, yeah. And then he kicked up, and it was like, oh, okay.
The problem with that is the problem with him doing that now is that I'm going to forever look at his head every time he wrestles.
Yeah, me too.
How is this head going to win? His match with AJ this week?
Tuesday night, I was doing that constantly.
He hit his head several times on the mat. And don't get me wrong, it's not that's going to hurt his brain every time, but I worry about him more than ever. So anyway, yeah, it was a good match. I'm interested in seeing where Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn goes. Obviously, this is the storyline between these four guys are done, which I'm fine with.
Okay. So now we go to the final women's match, which was Nia Jax versus the champion Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship. Jeremy, what did you think of this match?
I like the match. I like the outcome. Nia, what I don't like is the message behind it. I don't like this forced upon Nia. I'm a bigger woman. I'm doing this all for body image, and I don't like that. I think she's doing that perfectly fine by just being a wrestler, being a woman wrestler and the size that she is. That they don't need that garbage behind it.
Yeah. Like, because she's not really doing it, but it's just the announcers, the commentators keep hammering that fact in. It's just like, we can get that by the fact that Alexa bullied her. Like, we don't need to hammer it home. Alexa was bullying her, acting like grade school, and then she came back, put her in a place and won. Like, we can all. Like, yeah, obviously some kids probably can't pick up on that subtlety and stuff like that, but, kids don't really care about the storyline stuff, they just care about having fun watching wrestling. But for the older people, it's like, you don't need to just hammer that in. We can get that. It's inferred by what happened. We don't have to, it's a good message. I'm glad that they're doing it. But you're absolutely right. They don't need to constantly hammer it home and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I'm glad she beat Alexa. I don't really want to see anybody else beat Alexa, to be honest.
Mm.
Even though this storyline's, it's not as good as the Ciampa Gargano. It's still in that vein. These guys were friends. We saw. I mean, if we were to watch Total Divas, we were able to see these two ladies be friends. They're best friends in real life. I mean, they really are. But I'm glad Nia won. I'm glad she has a championship. I want to see who they build up to beat her. If Alexa is going to come back to beat her. But anyway, just to go off on a little bit of a tangent, people were wondering why. I saw some guy post, now that we have the women's championships, why aren't they being done at Saudi Arabia? I'm like, do you know Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
Like, women aren't going to be wrestling there anytime soon.
Yeah.
There's no way that's going to happen. That's the reason why Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss aren't wrestling. That's why Sasha and Bayley are not wrestling over there. It's their culture. That's WWE is trying to be respectful
to their culture. Yeah.
Whether they agree with it or not, they're trying to be respectful to that culture, and so that's the reason why women aren't going to wrestle over there. It's not a culture where women are built up to be anything but property at times. But that being said, Nia and Alexa, it was a serviceable match. I'm glad Nia won. I liked that Nia took Mickey out.
Yes.
First. That was good.
Yeah.
She just was like, I'm taking you out.
Yeah, it's funny. She just immediately did that first and foremost. Yeah, that was probably my favorite part of it. Was she just went after Mickey and just completely wrecked her. And then she's like, all right, cool, even playing field. Like, that was really well done. And yeah, like, it is a good message that they're doing. They don't need to beat us over the head with it. We can infer it, and we can, we can be like, that is me, because I was bullied, and she's, she's my champion, because she's like, you don't need to be like, she's your champion. This victory was for anybody who got bullied. And she's like, you're beating us over the head with it, and so you're ruining it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good message. I'm glad they're saying it. But yeah, it's kind of just, you don't need to constantly, put it over like we know it. And yeah, it was a good match. The right person did win. Of the big 4 title matches, this was, I think, the only one that didn't surprise me. Which, when we get to the main event and talk about the show as a whole, I have quite a few things to say. So
I'll leave the room.
No, because I want to get your opinion on it. But yeah, I just have quite a few things to say. So yeah, it was good outcome, totally. So.
All right, no more about that.
No more about that.
All right, next we have AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE Championship. Is this heavyweight? Nope, just WWE Championship.
It's just WWE Championship.
All right, Caleb, thoughts?
It was a good match. It was quite fair. Felt like they were kind of holding back. I'm assuming because I just don't know why. Maybe because it seems like they're gonna do a rematch and they don't want to pull out all the stops and give us a 5-star classic, which was stupid. They should have. It was still done well. There were lots of good spots in it. The way it ended, the Kinshasa reversed into the Styles Clash, was really cool. Good way to end it. It's 20 minutes long. It didn't feel this long. It felt like it felt kind of rushed. It felt like it just felt like an abrupt ending, kind of. And I totally thought Shinsuke would win. I wanted Shinsuke to win, but because of the heel turn by Shinsuke after, that made me okay with it. Because I was just like, oh man, like both the Royal Rumble winners, lost. Like, that's kind of a bum. And then you see Shinsuke just turn heel and just go, whoa. Like, so I was okay with it after that. Because yeah, I totally thought if anything it would have happened the other way around, Shinsuke winning and then AJ turning heel and attacking him. And if that was even in my head, that's what I would have thought. I didn't think that this would have happened. So it's got me super intrigued to follow the rest of this storyline. So it did a good job there, but I just kind of felt not really let down, but I just felt like, oh, that's it. Like, I thought this could be like a fast-paced barn burner. Like, holy cow, that was the best match of the night. And it wasn't. Like, so hopefully they'll have a rematch that's a million times better. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't exactly what I wanted. So that's my thoughts.
Yeah, I like the ending. It wasn't a great match. It was an okay match, and I agree with you. I hope they do more. As a matter of fact, I hope what they do is do a triple threat with with Daniel Bryan, especially what happens after SmackDown. Like that's what I want to see at the Greatest Royal Rumble. That's absolutely what I want to see. And to sell tickets, I think they're gonna need to do that. And I think it'll be that match.
Yeah.
Will be,
if not there, at least do it at Backlash.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So I think that match will be amazing. Yeah, everything you said about this match was right. It wasn't as classic as what it could have been, but I hope they use this to springboard off something else. I'm fine with them turning Shinsuke heel. His promo on Saturday night or Tuesday night was like 2 lines, but fantastic. It was just a great promo. So yeah, outside of them turning Shinsuke heel, this match wasn't anything to write home about. I probably won't go watch this match ever again.
Probably not, yeah.
But that's me. That's just
yeah.
I didn't hate it, just wasn't.
Yeah, I feel like this match kind of exemplifies this whole show, where it kind of collapsed under its own hype, maybe. Like,
yeah.
It was a victim of its own hype, kind of maybe. So yeah, okay. So now we have Braun Strowman and his mystery tag team partner versus Debar, Cesaro, and Sheamus for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Jeremy, what were your thoughts on Braun Strowman's selection of partner and the match that ensued?
So first of all, this is my favorite match on the card. I don't care what you say. Todd, you were wrong. This is not like Bagwell's mom on a pole match. This is not that. This is a fantastic. The payoff I thought was glorious on Monday night, personally.
Yeah.
Surprising. I think that's probably the main word for me for this whole card is surprising. I did not think things that were going to happen would happen. Braun picking a 10-year-old kid, never in a million years would I think that would happen. That he would go out and pick what we find out later is John Cone, a brilliant referee, somebody who needs to get more props than he is. He's hilarious on the game night stuff that they do for YouTube, the WWE game night stuff. He's fantastic in and of himself. But to pick a 10-year-old kid, Braun, the whole gimmick is Braun doesn't need a tag team partner.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole gimmick. And so I'm going to pick a 10-year-old kid, and guess what? We're going to beat you. That's the whole point of this match is Braun Strowman is so over, first of all, and he's so powerful. This keeps him super strong. He beat Cesaro and Sheamus.
Mm-hmm.
He did, but he needed a tag team partner because of rules, I guess. Like they care about rules any other time. So he picks Nicholas. Like, hey, I don't know whose idea this was, but this has shades of Vince McMahon in the past. I've heard a story where Howard Finkel got a new car one time, and they needed a car. I can't remember the whole scene. It was something. I can't remember if it was an Austin spot, but anyway, they needed to throw somebody onto the car, and so they asked Howard. They got Howard to give them his car for this spot on TV, and they break his car. And it's all Vince's idea. Go get Howard's car. We're gonna rough it up. And Vince didn't know all the stuff that was going to happen to the car, and so he ends up buying Finkel another car. This has shades. It's that funny like rib type stuff. Vince got the whole crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Vince ribbed the whole WWE universe with a 10-year-old kid. And you know what? I don't care. I got the joke, Vince. I think it's hilarious. Braun Strowman could beat Cesaro and Sheamus by himself, and that's exactly what he did. The hot tag to Braun to Nicholas, brilliant. Nicholas getting in, starting like, no, I can't do this, getting back out. Like every bit of this. This is my favorite match. I will go back and watch this match because it was just brilliant, well done, and the payoff was fantastic. Payoff was fantastic Monday night. I don't care who you are. I will fight you on this because this is the most entertaining thing for me. The most entertaining thing that happened on WrestleMania and on Raw. Caleb, what were your thoughts? I know I'm passionate about this match, but
ditto. Like, yeah, I loved it too. It was funny. And it's funny that he passed a couple wrestlers in the crowd, like No Way Jose and a couple other people who I
Some
forgot.
guys we never know.
But yeah, people were like, and like Pacitti was like, Jose, No Way Jose's right there, pick him. And then, a couple minutes later, Pacitti was like, Braun Strowman just won the tag team titles with a 10-year-old kid, and I'm not even mad. And I was just like, I know, because it's hilarious.
It is.
Like, it's also, like, this show, like, just had so much variety to it. I mean, and a lot of it, was kind of serious and heavy-handed stuff, And so, like, yeah, they needed this kind of bit of levity. They needed this, funny moment, and it was great.
Especially prior to the last match.
Yeah, like, yeah, yeah, I mean, putting this match, putting the main event on last was just, yeah, because people wanted to hate it. But anyways, we'll get there in a second. But yeah, it was funny. Like, I loved it. It like, I don't know, like, was it like a Make-A-Wish or for him,
No.
or like?
No.
It was just
Cohn's son.
okay. Like, I knew it was John Cohn's son, but I didn't know if it was a Make-A-Wish too. Or,
like, I hope they come out and say who planned it, why they picked Nicholas. Like, it was brilliant.
Yeah.
Just every bit of it. It wasn't. Okay. I think a lot of people thought it was a
Make-A-Wish. Like I knew that, like, when we found out it was John Cohn's son, I was like, oh, so it was just like, like he met Braun backstage and he's like, I like that kid Nicholas or something like that, and
that could be.
And Vince was like, oh yeah, he's a good kid. He's like, hey, we should give him a match. Like, that'll be cool, like, like, he's a really good kid. Everybody likes him. John Cohn's a good guy. We'll do that for John. I don't know, but
Nicholas, tag team champion, 4th grader.
Exactly.
Man.
Yeah, that backstage bit on Monday was just, it's like, he has prior engagements. On account of him being in 4th grade. Like, that was funny.
And Triple H put out a thing about that too. He took a picture with Nicholas, and he does the whole pointing to Nicholas thing.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, Nicholas was a whatever. He's like, yeah, he's got homework and all this stuff. So that I thought was a great tweet too. So I don't care, Todd, you're wrong. This was a great thing that happened. Anything else you want to say about that?
Can't think of anything. Yeah, it was fun. I don't care what anybody says either.
All right. Last something was for the Universal Championship. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. Just a second. Caleb, what'd you think about it?
He actually ran out of here. That was funny. You're funny. Okay. So, I didn't want them to put this on last, and I just knew they were going to. Now, first off, you and I are fans of Roman Reigns. We hate just all the, people who are like, hey, look how cool I am because I hate Roman Reigns and I boo Roman Reigns, blah, blah. We hate all that stuff, He's a good wrestler. He's a good talent. He's a guy that they're high on. They should be high on him because he's super talented and he's, seems like a nice guy and all that. But, I mean, yeah, they did kind of push him too hard too soon, and they still continue to push him and try to get him over. And so I think they need to kind of take a break from that, kind of keep him relevant, they need to do kind of a, familiarity breeds contempt, and, how can I miss you if you won't go away, as Jim Cornette says. So, yeah, they need to do something. They need to, figure out something. But anyways, yeah, them putting this on, the show was super long. People wanted to hate this match. They went into this match thinking, I'm going to hate it, I'm going to hate it, I'm going to hate it, I'm going to hate it. Yep. And so, basically, people already hated this match before it even happened. And, so you compile that also with the a bunch of great matches beforehand, and this being a super long show, they just set themselves up for failure with this. Was this match awful? Not necessarily, but the crowd was just out of it. Brock Lesnar just phoned this in, typical Plan A. I'm Brock Lesnar, suplex, grrr match. Some of the stuff at ringside, kind of brawling out, at ringside. Like, they should have just made this no holds barred or something like that, and it's just like, you set this up, a whole year of build, setting this up for everybody's getting taken out after one F5, Roman kicks out of 5 of them, and then finally goes down on the 6th after Brock opens him up. Like, I know everybody knew that Roman would probably win. And, you know, like I told this to you, I've said this several times to other people since then. You know, like, it seems like they just wanted to do a twist ending. They wanted to shock us with every single match except the Nia Jax one. And it's just like, you know what this was? I'm just sitting there, I'm like, this was the filmography of M. Night Shyamalan.
Mm.
You see a twist ending, Sixth Sense. See a twist ending. I really had to think hard about an analogy, and this is the best one I could come up with. But it's quite apt.
Yeah,
P.S. I'm sorry to you, Jeremy, and I'm sorry to the listeners. I'm going to talk quite at length about this because I have a lot to say. So sorry in advance. Yeah, it's you see the Sixth Sense. It's a good movie, handled well. Big shock ending. Shock endings, you know, twist endings had fallen out of favor. Nobody really did them that much. And then they come back with this, and it's like, holy cow, didn't see that happening. That's crazy. And then Unbreakable comes out. Unbreakable's a great movie. I personally like it a bit better than Sixth Sense. It's just, you know, a bit more to my liking. Yeah, just a tad. You know, has a twist ending. Not bad, but it's just like, you know, wow, that was cool. Like, that was a good movie. Didn't see that coming. So then there's Signs. A movie I know a lot of people think is goofy, and I admit it does have a lot of goofiness, but it's a movie I enjoy. Has a twist ending. Okay, I see what he's doing, but, you know, still an enjoyable movie. Had some good spots. Then The Village comes out. Nobody liked it. Then he does...
Yeah, The Village was awful. It was okay until the end.
Because it's a big twist ending, and it's just like, oh my gosh, really? So he's just doing this all the time. And then Stinkin' The Happening comes out, which everybody agrees was one of the worst movies ever. Downright awful in every sense of the word. And now he's become a walking punchline. Because this dude was hailed as the next Steven Spielberg at one point, and then he just, you know, M. Night Shyamalan, if I can use terminology from wrestling, he became a mark for himself, it seems like.
I actually like was it Lady in the Water or Lady in the Lake?
I never saw that one.
Actually.
So I don't know anything about it. So yeah, it was, you know, you can't just do shock endings, you know, twist endings all the time. And they did it for 3 out of the 4 big matches. Doing it for one of them is totally fine. Doing it for 2 of them is okay too. Doing it for 3 of them just completely threw me off and just made me kind of like, ugh, like a predictable ending isn't necessarily a bad one, and a twist ending isn't automatically a great one. It isn't automatically this brilliant, you know, stroke of genius. Just almost everything about this match left an awful taste in my mouth. Like I said, it was just this, you know, and I know a lot of people hate Roman because it's the cool thing. You know, he deserved way better than this boring, lazy, look at me, I'm Brock Lesnar, grr, so strong, match. Love Paul Heyman, but there's just nothing he could have done, I think, to salvage this. I mean, Roman Reigns, as good as he is, couldn't have salvaged this because it was just terrible. Yeah, I just don't get, like, why exactly they do it. And everybody thinks they have the inside scoop. They think they have the reason. They're like, oh, it's because they want to sell more tickets to the Greatest Royal Rumble. They'll switch the title there. And people are like, no, it's because they want Brock to keep the title and then drop it to Bobby Lashley at SummerSlam. And some people are like, oh, no, it's just Brock Lesnar playing both sides, you know, sticking with WWE for a few more months to get a bigger deal from UFC. Like, nobody knows for sure, but everybody thinks they have the inside scoop. They think they know what's going on. And so, yeah, it was just like, I even screenshotted some tweets because I knew I had to read them because a bunch of people were just like, this one guy said, that main event was terrible. Like, what were you thinking? I'm tired of having a freaking part-time champion. Lesnar is awful. Give it to somebody else who is more worthy of the title. Yes, Roman Reigns does fall into that category. I don't care. Then this one guy said, not the biggest Roman Reigns fan, but that match was not on him in the slightest. Brock is just awful. He does the same thing over and over. I don't get how anyone likes him. Another person said, it's sad that Roman Reigns gets busted open, takes 6 F5s, loses the main event to a part-timer who doesn't give a crap, and people are still going to hate him. Roman Reigns doesn't deserve that. Come on, people. Then this one guy said, with crowd chanting boring, etc. in the main event, Vince will never have an opportunity right now that is so primed to turn Roman Reigns heel. Roman could come out tomorrow and say, I busted my butt, gave it everything I had, bled for you people, and you still boo me. I don't care. Blah, you know, and then something. So, a lot of people seem to be in agreement that as much as they may dislike Roman Reigns or not be a big fan of him, that match wasn't on him. I agree. It wasn't on him. I don't get, if this match didn't go on last, I don't think I would hate it as much. But the fact that they ended WrestleMania like this, a show that was pretty decent and had some shocks, and then they ended on this biggest shock of all. It's like, you've been building him up to be the guy, and then you sell him short in this moment to a part-time champion that nobody likes and is ready to see go. Yeah, I get Roman Reigns isn't over. I get that a ton of people boo him, blah, blah, blah. But it's just like, use him as a transitional champion. Have him hold it for a couple months or whatever, and then he loses it to Samoa Joe or loses it to Finn Balor or something. That's my thoughts on that. What about you?
It was okay. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, there's a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of rumors going on right now that maybe Vince changed the ending like super last second. I don't know what I think about this match. I think this is one of those matches that we're going to have to wait and see what happens with the rest of this drawn out stuff. I mean, yeah, everything you said plus horrible capper, like you said, horrible capping off of WrestleMania. That's all I've got to say. There's nothing much more. Yeah, like I said, there's rumors about stuff that happened backstage. I think my favorite moment was when after Roman gets quote unquote busted open, his face with all the blood on it looked cool.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, like that moment was really cool, but everything else I could have done without.
Yeah. They just really dropped the ball.
Mm-hmm.
They should have made it no holds barred. They should have made Brock play ball and partake in this awesome match. Because Brock Lesnar, when he cares and he can put on a good match. Before he became the boring Suplex City Brock, back in the day, he was a good worker. But, he just, it seems like he just cares about the money. He doesn't care. He just wants the extra money that comes with being a champion and stuff like that. He just wants the money. He doesn't care about this business. And it seems like that's true. And yeah, like this match they completely dropped the ball. I think personally maybe they are trying to drum up more business for the Greatest Royal Rumble, which is taking place for us here, will be on a Friday morning at 10 o'clock because of the massive time difference. So it'll be kind of fun to watch a WWE pay-per-view on a Friday morning.
That would be pretty rad. I'm not doing anything else.
I have finals going on that day, but when I get home, I'll be able to watch it, which will be sweet. So yeah, I'm really excited to see the Greatest Royal Rumble. I am, but yeah, it was just kind of weird. Just they dropped the ball on this completely. They totally messed up. Yeah, it's just
to not overstay the hate-filled stuff, but overall, Caleb,
mm-hmm.
if the last match wasn't included, what would you have given WrestleMania?
Including the last match, I'm gonna give it the same grade, even including the last match. For me, it gets a high B. I would say it gets a high B. Not bad enough to get a B minus, but not quite good enough. Because, like I said, it just kind of fell victim to its own hype. It had all these cool matches. That turned out, it's like the matches that you weren't as excited for turned out to be the better ones, and the matches that I got hyped up for kind of let me down, and that's sad. But yeah, so I would give it a B. I thought it was going to be better than last year's. I don't think it was.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I was like primed and ready. I was like, this is going to be way better than last year's, and then it just kind of wasn't. Like I know some people didn't like the main event last year, the Reigns Taker, because Taker was kind of hurting, and he couldn't do as much and stuff like that. But it was still serviceable. It was still decent, and the Lesnar Goldberg match, was only like 5 minutes, but it was really fast paced and had some cool stuff. And yeah, it's like, yeah, just last year's was better. Like they just really dropped the ball on some of the things this year, and so yeah, I give it a B.
All right, Nicholas, you get an A+ from me.
Agreed.
I agree with you. I think for me, I'm gonna give it a B. I'm not gonna give it a high B. I don't think a lot of it deserves it. It was an okay show. It was an average show. So for me, I'm gonna give it a B.
Okay. So, the fabled Raw after WrestleMania. There's always some shocks and surprises that comes after WrestleMania at Raw and at SmackDown both. So, Jeremy, what'd you think about Monday Night Raw, the Raw after WrestleMania?
It was really good. I was disappointed that the Hulu version, I know I keep saying this every time, it didn't have Ember Moon's stuff.
What?
I was pretty upset about that. I
Dumb.
really wanted to see what happened. I knew that she came out, which I'm glad she came out. I'm glad she's in. I'm glad she's on Raw, even though I'd rather see her on SmackDown.
Yeah.
I'm glad she's on Raw. My favorite thing, two of my favorite things were backstage segments. First was Braun and Nicholas relinquishing their titles because he's in 4th grade. I thought that was brilliant. And then Nicholas says, "Oh, and well, the whole, when he's done with school, he's going to come back and we're going to reclaim those titles." And then Nicholas says, "And somebody's going to get these hands." I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was great. I really, really loved that. The second thing was with the triple threat at the end, the backstage segment when Jeff, Seth, and Finn were walking, and Jeff runs into his brother haphazardly. I thought that was a little silly, but they have that conversation back and forth and Jeff goes in and out of the brother Nero kind of talk, and I like how they played it off as if as that Matt is crazy, and Jeff knows that he's crazy.
So he's kind of playing along with his craziness, yeah.
Or at least it seems like that. But then when he's done having a conversation was brilliant. But when he's done having the conversation, Finn like, "What was that?" And Jeff's like, "I don't know." And they both are just left there like, "What? What just happened?" I thought that was brilliant. I love that backstage segment. As far as call-ups, I thought the Ember Moon I did see a little bit, but I didn't see all of it. Didn't see their match. I thought that was okay. It was pretty Bayley-esque when they brought Bayley in at one of the pay-per-views that they did with Sasha. I can't remember.
I think it was Battleground, maybe.
Something like that.
I think it was when they had the Shield triple threat.
I think so.
I think it was that same pay-per-view.
So I'm fine with how they called her up. AOP, I'm glad they called them up. I'm disappointed they're not going to take Paul Ellering as their manager, but they looked and sounded good.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were really. I thought it was well done.
Hopefully they listened to the podcast several months ago when I pitched my Empire of Pain idea, how they become like Roman Reigns' new stable, and Roman Reigns turns heel, that was my idea. So hopefully they're doing that. They're probably not, but it'd be cool if they were.
I agree. I think because I don't think turning Dean heel is a good idea. I think what needs to happen with Dean. I was thinking about it just a little bit earlier. Dean, I think when Dean comes back and he's better, he just needs to show up and be like, "Hey guys, what's happening? What's going on?" Like kind of like aloof about what's happening in WWE. I think that would be hilarious.
That would be.
So yeah, I'm glad Jeff is back. It's interesting. My guess is they're pushing Matt and Jeff away from each other for now. Not in a bad way. Just hey, we're brothers. We're still together. You're crazy. I'm sane. And maybe even pushing Jeff towards the Intercontinental title. I'm fine with them even doing this. I don't think they need to be a tag team personally.
Yeah.
I like that they're letting Matt and Bray kind of do their thing right now, and Matt kind of being the mentor-ish type character for Bray. I'm fine with that. So I like that. I liked the opener. I liked Ronda giving Stephanie the "Hey, I don't trust you at all" arm breaker thing. I'm interested in seeing where that goes. I'm trying to think of what else I liked. Oh, because a lot of the matches were, "Hey, these people showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's give them a small little squash match to do." Bobby Lashley's back. I'm interested in seeing where they go with him. I'm hoping, like you, they don't push him towards Brock Lesnar. So yeah, who knows where Bobby Lashley goes from here? Am I missing any? Oh, Noe Jose.
Yeah.
Noe Jose's debut was all right. Coming down with the Congo line, a lot of people were saying about how he took Adam Rose's gimmick. I'm like, no, that's just been his thing. He's a fiesta guy. He's a guy who's fun loving and stuff. So I'm interested in seeing where they put him. He's kind of one of the guys that I would like to see in the Intercontinental Championship picture. But yeah, so I can't think of anything else on Raw that I wanted to talk about. What about you?
Yeah, I liked all the stuff you brought up. Back in the day, I loved Bobby Lashley, so I'm glad he's back. He's a really cool guy. Super freak athlete too. Yeah, I'm really interested to see where they take him, where they go with him. No Way Jose, I'm not really that familiar with, but I already like him. Uh, and somebody said, I hope he's the last entrant for the Greatest Royal Rumble, and then everybody just goes over the top rope at the same time and joins in the Congo line.
Yeah,
they're just like, screw this, I'll just jump over the top rope and then just join the giant Congo line. Yeah, Ember Moon coming up. I would rather be on SmackDown too, but she's on Raw. That's cool. And it was a pretty decent match. She totally owned Alexa Bliss, which was awesome. it was really cool. Yeah, trying to think. Roman and Samoa Joe, I liked that. I think it would be genius if they did a double turn with those two guys. Because Samoa Joe is a great talker, and he's good at playing the jerk heel. And so I think it would be totally rad if they just completely turned the tables and did a double turn with both of these guys. That'd be cool. And the idea of they've had a few matches here and there, Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns, and obviously they were part of the Fatal 5-Way at Extreme Rules last year, which was an awesome match. And then I can't remember if Samoa Joe was in the SummerSlam main event. I remember it was the Fatal 4-Way. It was Roman, Braun. Wasn't Braun in that?
I think so.
I think it was because he put Lesnar through the two tables. It was Lesnar, Braun, and Roman, and then I want to say it was Bray Wyatt or Samoa Joe, somebody. I can't remember who the fourth guy was in that. But yeah, so to see a proper feud between these two guys would be really cool. I think it'll be a really cool, heavy-handed brawling match. And so yeah, I think it'd be really neat if they did a double turn. That would be totally rad. And it just makes sense. I mean, Roman's the good guy, Joe's the bad guy. People are booing Roman, cheering Samoa Joe. Just own that, double turn them. That'd be neat. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think that'll be cool. And they already set up a match between the two at Backlash, and a lot of people are thinking all right, well, Roman's gonna win the Universal title in Saudi Arabia, and then he's gonna carry it into his feud with Samoa Joe at Backlash and stuff, which I'm okay with. I think that'll be neat. But I can't think of anything else that you didn't talk about. I think
they're having a tag team tournament for the titles.
Yeah, the Revival beat the Gallows and Anderson, which that was a fun match, and that was neat. I'm glad that the Revival are getting that opportunity, and that they actually went over because, just they kept getting hurt, and so all the momentum they had kind of got halted, and then they've kind of just been all but buried since then. And so yeah, they're one of the best tag teams in the world. They deserve this push, so hopefully something will come of that. And then also I think it was Matt and Bray, I think.
Yeah.
They tag teamed against Titus Worldwide, and they won. Yeah. And so, we get the Revival, and then the Woken Warriors. I don't know. That's what I'll call them. Yeah. Who knows if they'll actually even have a tag name, but yeah. So there's that. Yeah, there really wasn't much bad. I'm really excited to see what happens with the Super Shake-Up, the Superstar Shake-Up next week. Yeah, it was but the best moment of the night for me was hearing Kurt Angle totally name drop and bury TNA. That was awesome.
That was pretty awesome.
And it's funny because they've never mentioned TNA, I don't think, by name, because it's their number one rival. And it's just but they're totally not a threat to you guys, so who cares? Yeah. And it's funny because Kurt actually spent more time in TNA than he did WWF. Yeah. And so it was just killer. It was so funny. It was just like, and like the whole crowd just popped. They were all just like, oh, like, and I totally did too. Like, I was just like, oh snap, that is hilarious. Like, I don't think anybody's even there anymore that he knows. Like,
Yeah, probably not.
But yeah, so everybody was just like, dude, you were there way longer than you were at WWF. You just buried them. That was awesome and stuff. And but yeah, it was pretty good. That was hilarious. So that was probably the best thing of the night for me. But yeah, the stuff with Nicholas and Braun was hilarious. Um, and yeah, it was a good episode. I quite enjoyed it. It's got me pumped up to see what happens next week and in the future.
I think I would give it it was a pretty good, solid show. So I'll give it a B plus.
B plus, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, I'd probably give it a B plus as well. It was pretty decent.
Moving on from Raw to the Smack Diddly Down. Caleb, what'd you think about the show?
I thought SmackDown was pretty good too. Um, yeah. First and foremost, just bring it up. Heel Shinsuke backstage, like you kind of touched on earlier. That was great. Where he's just like, I'm very sorry for what I did to AJ Styles, and then he winks at Renee. She's like, Shinsuke, it seems like you're being disingenuous, and then he kind of gets mad and he scoffs. And he's just like, sorry, no speak English, and then just walks away. Like, that was funny. Like, that was like total heel move right there, and that was pretty awesome. And then I love AJ putting Daniel Bryan over, then putting himself over. That was awesome. Where he's just like, Daniel Bryan is an all-time great, but he's not phenomenal. And then walks away. I'm like, nice, mic drop moment, totally awesome. Because he's like, being respectful towards Daniel, but he's like, I'm not gonna sell myself short though. Come on, like, which is kind of in his character, where it's like he knows he's the greatest wrestler in the world, but he knows other people are great wrestlers too and stuff like that. So like, I thought that was kind of cool. And probably the biggest thing, the biggest shock, the surprise was that we already have a new SmackDown GM because Daniel Bryan's returning to active competition full time, and so he's not going to be the GM no more. And we have Paige, who announced her retirement the night before on Raw. And so yeah, I'm totally down with that. I think that's cool. I can't wait to see how it pans out. Yeah, I think it'll be pretty cool as long as they don't mess it up, because you never know how it is. Like, sometimes you're like, hey, cool, this is a neat idea. They should, I'm sure it'll be good, and then they mess it up somehow. So hopefully that doesn't happen, because I'm really looking forward to this. And yeah, booking the AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan in the main event was just like super awesome. Couldn't wait to see that. And when Charlotte was talking about her match and talking about Asuka, which I don't think Asuka was on either show. So and then she got interrupted by the Iconic duo, and then they their mic work was pretty good against her.
Really
like
good.
It was total, like, I know I've used this analogy before, but like total High School Mean Girls movie type stuff.
And
It was good. Like, it was very good.
And not like we haven't taken an acting class type acting. Like, it seemed real. It seemed it was just very good.
It was very
Probably
natural.
the best.
Yeah.
It was the best mic work I've ever heard them do. Even though they weren't bad in NXT, it was really well done.
Was. And then they just completely beat the crap out of Charlotte. And then Carmella finally cashes in, and it was a really cool It was just kind of goofy, though. I didn't hate it. It was just a little weird how the referee was didn't understand. I was just like, I know some people were annoyed by it. I was just like it was a little weird, but it was funny. I didn't hate it. How he's just like, so you want to catch it? Like, catch it! I thought that was funny.
Well,
it was kind of weird, but it was really funny.
It built tension.
Yeah.
For weeks now, we've had her come out and try to cash in, and now it's that fast count, slow count type thing where it's like, okay, come on, let's go. But I loved it. I thought I was gonna be annoyed, but I really liked that part about it. But that was me.
Yeah. I know some people were like, that's stupid. I thought it was funny. It was weird, I'll grant you, but it was funny.
Yep.
And so yeah, that was good. Like Jinder's heel work, with his throne or whatever. That was funny. That was well done. Can't think of anything else. If there's anything you think of, please bring it up. So yeah, that's kind of the stuff that I really liked and enjoyed. What about you? Anything else?
Shinsuke's promo backstage was the best thing for me that night. That Tuesday night. I enjoyed I enjoyed the show. Part of me wishes that more people were called up, but all I gotta say is about time for the Iconics. Apparently, they can't use Iconic Duo because it's trademarked.
Huh.
Apparently,
Weird.
so they've got to use this new Iconics, which the more and more I think about it, the more and more I don't hate it. I like the image that they have, the two eyes with them standing. I think that's pretty all right. But about time. Those ladies were needed to come up, and I'm glad that they did. The only thing I'm sad about is nobody else was called up on the roster, which they may be saving for next week.
Yeah, that could be.
They may figure out something how to do that next week, which I'm fine with. If they don't, that's fine. I really would like CN up. I would really like a couple other guys up, but we'll see what happens, where it goes. I would love Sanity to come up. I was surprised Sanity also didn't show up. They're such a great stable right now. I hope they bring them up as a stable. But yeah, everything you said about SmackDown, I really enjoyed. The main event was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It shows us where this could go, and so I was perfectly fine with what happened.
Yeah, me too.
I can't think of anything else on. I do like Carmella cashing in. I do like the fact that Carmella won. I can't think of anything else about SmackDown that I want to talk about, because everything else that you said was spot on. It was really good. Usos win a tag team rematch, which I'm not sure why they have to do that since they were the champions.
Yeah.
I understand if it was because they lost the match, the three-way match, but still, it didn't need to happen. The Natalya Naomi thing, I think a lot of the stuff on SmackDown was on the nose. So I think obviously Naomi and Natalya, one of those ladies are going to go over to Raw. I think one of the teams, I think SmackDown, Usos or New Day. I think the New Day will go over to Raw again. But other than that, like I don't know. I'm interested in seeing where the Superstar shakeup goes. What happens?
Yeah.
I think that's the most intrigued I am about anything going on right now. So, yep, that's my thoughts about SmackDown.
Yeah.
So out of what grade would you give SmackDown?
I think I'd give it a B+ as well, maybe. I think so. Yeah, had a lot of good stuff. The ending, having Shinsuke come out and attack both of them. I like that he attacked Daniel Bryan first, because that means that AJ loses the match. So kind of playing up the that whole aspect of it, and then he racks him twice and stuff like that. I was just like, I hope this does lead to a triple threat. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Like, like I'm just like, give me that now. So yeah, it was really cool to see that. To see that play out. The match itself was really good, and the way it ended really made me excited to hopefully, that we'll hopefully get a triple threat. And yeah, it was B+, man. Like, I don't know what else to, like, it wasn't bad. There wasn't anything bad about it, I don't think. And it was just really, really solid, good SmackDown from me. So
Sweet.
What about you? What do you give it?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a B+ as well. I hoped for more call-ups, but I hope that they rectify that with the Superstar shakeup. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So yeah, I'll give it a B+ too. Nothing bad.
All right. Well, anything else before we go home?
Nope.
Yep, I can't think of anything either. Yeah. Greatest Royal Rumble was in like 2 weeks or so. Yeah, almost exactly 2 weeks. Tomorrow it'll be 2 weeks, exactly. So yeah, that's it. I guess we can call this one good. All right. Well, that was the WrestleMania week. Spectacular episode, special, super spectacular thing. Quite an episode. A lot of stuff to talk about. So, we'll see you guys next week for our standard weekly recaps episode, and then, the I'm sure they'll, maybe we'll do our greatest Royal Rumble prediction or something sometime, or maybe I don't know. Who knows? So, all right. Well, everybody, we will see you some other time.
Packing it in.
Yep.
Peace.